I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Scary Delta. Alaska's with me on the show today, and we talk about Drag the Musical, VEGGIES, and a whole bunch of cheesecake. But first, do you want to see me go off? Because I think you want to see me go off.
Oh.
Mom! Do you hold the space? Are you very scary like me? Ghoulish, gory? Ooh, are you on the edge like me? Turned on by a corpse? Bargains fall across the strip mall. The lunch hour is close at hand. Karens crawl in search of managerial blood, and goblin monsters terrorize this 99-cent neighborhood. Pumpkin spice, flickering candles, seasonal whiskey by the handles, scented soaps, unlimited soups, a TJ Maxx, I gots to poops, a cold Diet Coke, a small fried fish. When hearts gather round, we have one wish. Oh wait, is that a spirit Halloween? It's Very Scary Delta! I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Scary Delta, a luxury public access podcast and YouTube talk show where I look gorgeous, speak extemporaneously, and invite fascinating people to sit on the couch and get very Delta. Very Delta's for the woman who knows you don't always have to wear cat ears to feel but it doesn't hurt. But first, let's get into some things that are very Delta.
Go off, Delta!
Chicken noodle soup at a restaurant is not a flex. You have to have more than one soup option at a restaurant. And you certainly have to have more than one soup option if you're offering chicken noodle as the soup that's always on the menu and the soup of the day. How is that possible? What makes that soup more special? I've been to several restaurants where they do this. I love Blackberry Diner, but you can't have chicken noodle soup always on the menu. And then when someone asks, what's the soup of the day? Say, chicken noodle. It's like when you go to Wood Ranch. What's your soup of the day? Tri-tip. And what's on the menu? Tri-tip. That's not another option. You have to have more than one. I mean, at least I would probably rather have the tri-tip because a chicken noodle soup, listen, there's not much to a chicken noodle soup. And it's very easy to make a chicken noodle soup that is awful. Chicken noodle soup from a can, Campbell's, come on. I know it's considered the remedy for anything when you're sick. You have to have chicken noodle soup. You have to have Sprite. You have to have Vicks Vapor Rub. You're going to be better. Chicken noodle soup from the can doesn't taste like anything at all. And I used to be a champion for Soup Plantation. You know I love Soup Plantation. I love Sweet Tomatoes, the same company, different names, different parts of the country. However, everyone seemed to love that chicken noodle soup. They were just like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. The noodles are fat. They have chicken breast in them. Yes, those things were in there, but that was it. There was nothing else in the soup. There were no vegetables. Sure, maybe they used a vegetable stock or a chicken stock, but you had to dress that soup up for it to be good. You had to put a little hot sauce, some green onion, maybe sour cream, a little something to wake it up. If I have to do half of the cooking, you can't be flexing that the chicken noodle soup is great. It is not great. Homemade chicken noodle soup, a little bit different because you're going to have pieces of carrot and celery and that trifecta in there to make it really, really great. But at a restaurant, how is a restaurant saying the soup du jour is chicken noodle and the only soup you offer on the menu is chicken noodle? Just stop saying that. Don't have a soup of the day. All you have to say is, we have chicken noodle soup. We do not have a soup of the day. And I don't think it's fair to throw in that chili as one of your soup options. It is not. Just because you eat something with a spoon does not mean that it's soup. Why don't you list vanilla pudding as one of your soups? You eat that with a spoon. You eat it in a bowl, but it's not a soup. So why is chili classified as a soup? Chili is not a soup. Chili is chili. Chili's closer to a chowder, but a chowder is also considered a soup. But a soup and a chowder are completely different. What about a broth? That's completely different too. But it's more soup-like. I think we need to sort of differentiate in restaurants specifically what is what. By the way, I went to Blackberry Diner and I had the chicken noodle soup. It was gross. It was literally like grease water with a couple of noodles in it. It tasted like, I wanted to say, oh, this tastes like Progresso, but it wasn't even as good as Progresso. I think Progresso chicken noodle is definitely better than a Campbell's chicken noodle just because there's like stuff in it. I want there to be stuff in it. I want to see spices and herbs floating in there, right? It can't just be water and noodles. Gold water, and that's supposed to be so delicious. The soup du jour. What is your soup du jour? Gold water with noodles. Why? Okay, what is that? We don't know. Those little pieces of pink chicken floating around in there? If you're only going to offer one soup and it's going to be chicken noodle, baby, make it great. Make it really, really good and charge for it. It's not a problem. You know what else is weird? When you go somewhere and you order a bowl of soup and a cup of soup, but it's basically the same serving. I've seen people get a cup and they pour it into the bowl and it's the same amount. I don't think people are that proud of soup. The winter is coming. We need the soups to be great. I love soup. I want great soup. I'm not asking for free. We'll pay for it. But stop saying that chicken noodle is the soup that you have and it's so great. If you're just busting open a can, just take it off the menu. Just say, we don't offer soup. And if people go, you don't offer soup? Why don't you offer soup? People love soup because we can't do it that great. We don't have a recipe here that's that great and that different to qualify putting it on the menu. We don't have a soup that people would want to pay $7.99 a bowl for. Here's what I think. Have the chicken noodle, because there's a lot of bland people out there that think chicken noodle soup is great. Have that. But I think you also need to have some other cream-based soup, a broccoli cheese. I think you need to have a navy bean soup. Ooh, that sounds so good. A clam chowder. Gotta have a clam chowder. What about something else that's brothy? Some other brothy soup that's got, I don't know, beef in it, maybe like a beef barley. I don't think you would do a beef broccoli. Maybe just a nice hearty vegetable soup. I think places need to take a little more pride. I remember when Baker's Square, Coco's, Caro's, Mimi's Cafe, Marie Callender's, they all had soup options that were so good and they were thick. A potato soup, a loaded baked potato soup. Doesn't that sound so good? A golden mushroom soup. Where are the soups? We need more soups. It's not about just chicken noodle, especially if you're not going to put any effort into the chicken noodle soup. By the way, Blackberry Diner, delicious food. The location near me in Downey, California, I don't understand what's going on with the service. They just stand. I feel like if you go in when it's super busy, you get better service than when it's dead. We went in to have lunch at like 4 o'clock, completely dead, 6 tables. Not a soul working there could care. It got to the point where the guy that was bussing the tables and kind of being the food runner had to come over and go, did somebody get your drink order? Like, I could get your drinks. And we were seated right next to the busing station. Nobody noticed? Maybe they were just tired from the rush. I don't know. But I sure know that when I went to go pay the bill, there was an option to click how much you wanted to tip. It was the first time in a very long time that I only tipped 15%. And even at that, I felt like it was pulling at me. I felt like I kind of had to walk out of there really fast because I didn't want anyone to stop me and go, how come you only tipped 15%? Because I knew that I would have to go into a whole tirade. I don't want to do all that. I would rather just, I don't know what. I think I'm just going to go to the location in La Habra from now on. I can't go to that one. This has happened several times. It wasn't just that time. I'm talking, I've been to that location, I would say in the past year, 4 times. And every time we've gone in, except for one time, there was an issue with the service where they're like, there's not like a storyline like, hi, we take your drink order. Hi, we come back with your drinks. Would you like to order now? Like, none of that happens. It was just kind of like, oh, you wanted food? Oh, okay. And they're busy. The food is great. The food is wonderful, except for the soup. But everything else is really, really good. I first was introduced to Blackberry Diner up north. Sacramento, San Jose, Modesto, like that area, traveling. When they finally came down here, I had so much expectation. Again, they've got that bacon ranch. And that's the other thing that pissed me off. I ordered a dinner salad, and that dinner salad didn't come at all. So I had to say to the server, hey, go ahead and take the dinner salad off of the bill since it didn't come. And she goes, oh, don't worry, I'll go get it. Huh, no, you won't. That's what you won't be doing. We're not eating out of order. No. The dinner salad in an American restaurant, a diner, a little mom and pop, is going to come before the entree, right? Maybe in other parts of the world, food is eaten differently. Maybe in this part of the world, in a 5-course meal, you present something differently. But we're talking about a place that has a chicken fried steak hanging off of a plate, right? It's not fancy schmancy. It's going to be a salad with dressing and like 1 carrot curl sitting on it. It's not that fancy. You know it comes before the meal. So she was like, oh, you don't want it? Am I going to have to go into this conversation about why it should have shown? I can't do it. I can't risk it. I can't do it. Do you want to see me take a break? Because I think you want to see me take a break. My name's Delta. What's yours?
Anus.
That's right. My mom is here all the way from the planet Glamtron. It's Alaska.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's been like 2 years, but it legitimately has.
That's so wild. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Miss Frizzle.
Hi,
You
Miss
look
Jizzle.
So good.
Thanks.
Miss Jizzle. It's a booty hole. Do I look like a mouse?
You do not. You look like a kitty. A sexy kitty.
Because I was going for cat. I mean, not even sexy cat. I just wanted to be a cat. And a black cat because my mom has a black cat.
What's her cat's name?
Bella.
Oh, that's
like
pretty.
Twilight.
Do you have pets?
I have plants.
Do you talk to them?
I sing to them when I water them.
That's good. My mom talks to her plants, and I think it really does make a difference.
It does.
Yeah, singing, talking, all of it.
This is the first time in my life I've been able to keep plants alive, and like that's a huge accomplishment for me.
What kind of plants are they? Are they flowering, vegetable?
Well, animal, vegetable, or mineral.
Okay.
We have one that's a jasmine plant,
Pretty.
and she has flowers and she smells good, but like she dropped all of her flowers and we thought she was dying, but I think she's coming back to life.
Do you sing Bring Me to Life by Evanescence?
I do.
You do?
Every day. Well, every Tuesday and Saturday.
Well, you know, that's actually a Halloween number that everyone does, right?
Bring me to life. Yes.
Do you think that's a good Halloween number for drag queens to perform?
Yes, and you fill your wig with baby powder. Okay.
Oh.
And then at the climax, you go whoosh, and it goes everywhere.
And you see it.
Yeah.
Do you do that sometimes?
I believe I'm the first person to think of that idea.
You created drag, didn't you?
No.
This is your first time on the new set, but the thing is, you're not really on the new set. You're on the Halloween set.
I was really looking forward to seeing the desk like up close because I was here when it was the old one, but this is fierce.
But it's not really the new set, so you have a responsibility to come back.
I will.
You will?
Yes, if you'll have me.
Well, this is the Delta Work Theater, and so other events happen here as well. What are you drinking?
Water.
Like a cat? Are you a cat or a kitty?
Well, my character's name in Drag the Musical, is Kitty Galloway. But
Right.
I don't identify as a kitty. I'm just a cat. Like right now, I'm just a cat.
You're just a cat.
You know how there's like pup players?
Uh-huh.
Did you know that there's cat people who do that too? Like you can get the leather, but it's instead of a dog face, it's a cat face.
I have seen a lot of it because, you know, at the executive suite, they have a huge furry event once a month. It's major. And the costumes they're insane. And I don't even know if I'm being rude by calling them costumes because for some people, it is in fact a way of life. So I don't want to refer to, if I put on cargo shorts and a t-shirt, I don't tell people that's my costume. So
I love your costume.
You know what I mean? So like not to diminish what other people love.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that because they spend so much time and effort in identifying with how they feel.
Yeah.
And it's fears.
So are they furries?
Some, yeah. Different
Are there
costumes.
pups too?
There are pups. They have another night of that as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know super much about it, but I love the culture of it. And whenever I see like a pup out, like they just want like affection, like a dog. Like, oh, you're good.
It's
like
really
that's
cool.
Like, why isn't there more just like exchange of affection like that in life? I like it.
Would you get one of those masks done?
For a cat, yes, I would.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, which I am like that anyway.
What if you
laying
wore a
around.
horse mask?
Okay.
Yeah, how would that sound be? Would you eat more carrots?
Sure. My eyesight would be really good.
If you were going to wear a horse mask and you had to eat a carrot, an apple, or a celery stick, which would you have?
Carrot.
Carrot.
Yes.
All the way.
Yes, definitely a carrot. When I was a little kid, my mom was like, carrots are good for your eyes when I was like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took one of the sliced carrots and put it in my eye.
In your what?
In my eye.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in your ass. Because imagine. Have you ever? No.
A carrot? No.
No. What, a zucchini? No. A finger?
I don't think so.
No.
My mom is watching.
Your mom?
Do you know I watched the episode with Luscious Massacre? I almost called her Luscious Mascara.
That's
Luscious
dangerous.
Massacre. I watched it with my mom.
That's dangerous.
I was like, there's a lot of ass talk. There's a lot of ass eating.
That's dangerous.
A lot of fecal, scatological. But she was like, oh, this is great. She's down.
I feel like whenever I'm at a show and there are like women over 40, we'll say.
Yeah.
They're usually not surprised by anything. Like
No.
Like I'll try to like shield my mother from certain things and she'll like hear it and she'll go, uh-huh. And it won't even faze her.
Not phased. Seen it all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Completely.
Yeah.
So Drag the Musical is now off-Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us.
Well, 7 years ago, Tomas, who does Killingsworth Records, which a lot of the drag music he's produced, he and our writing partner, Ash Gordon, he was like, do you want to make a musical? Do you want to write a musical? And I was like, sure, why not? And so we did, and we just started with kind of just nothing, just a thought, just an idea. I had an idea of two drag houses that hated each other. And that was like it. That was the seed. And then it sort of grew from there. And then like through the pandemic, we were writing and kakaraka. And then 7 years later, it's going to be off-Broadway.
And you love it.
I love it. It's cool.
You love music. Have you always loved music?
Yeah.
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 Have you always been a performer?
No, because I was too like shy and scared. And I was like, I'm gay or feminine or whatever. And I wasn't allowed to like be that, or I knew I shouldn't be that for safety purposes. And so I was very guarded and like and insecure and shy. And then once I finally did get into theater, which was like the end of high school, like the last year of high school, it was like, oh, this is like a place where like all of that natural whatever stuff is actually good.
And that's what essentially that space is what brought you out of that, you think?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did you do theater productions in school, or were you just part of a club?
I did Oklahoma.
Okay.
I did The Music Man. Then I went to college. I studied theater. We did all sorts of like shows and plays and musicals. And I like was drilling sets and, you know, figuring out how to do a lighting plot and all of that.
Drilling.
Kind of stuff. Yeah.
Drilling. Yeah. Like with the actual drill.
Drilling.
Like drilling a set.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. What's the longest you can go? That's really good. That's really good. That's like Bill Withers' last note in the song Lovely Day.
Yes.
Yeah, like it just goes
Yeah.
and goes and goes.
Yeah.
I'm into it. What's your Chipotle order?
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Burrito bowl, veggie.
Wait, what? How?
Veggie.
Veggies.
I hate the word veggie. But that's what they call it. It's on the menu.
Vegetables.
I wouldn't say, could I get a vegetable bowl?
You could say vegetable.
A vegetable bowl.
Right.
Veggie bowl.
Okay.
Veggie.
Veggies.
Ew.
It's like this. Veggies.
Hate that kind of stuff.
Get some veggies.
Veggie bowl.
Are you vegetarian?
Veggie bowl, white rice, pinto beans.
Okay.
Fajita veggies. Oh, I said it again.
Right?
It's what it's called on the menu.
From now on, when you go in, you have to look them in the eye and say, I would like a vegetable bowl. Bola.
I'm going to next
Bola.
time.
No one uses the word bolus.
Quality sufficient.
Yes.
Bolus.
I love it. You remember these conversations.
I do. QS.
QS. Have you had a QS today?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Not everybody goes once a day. I go twice a day.
Oh, girl, it's more than that. I'm like a snake. So it's like as soon as I eat, you can see the food inside me. And then it has to come out.
You know about ghost shit.
Ghost. I wish I had more ghost.
No, you don't.
Instead of real ones.
Because you go, oh, I see. Because it's cleaner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, the order.
Fajita.
Veggies.
Then corn salsa. The green.
Corn salsa.
The green salsa as well. Then cheese guac lettuce. I think that's all. Right?
Burrito bowl.
And then I need sides. So I need a side of guac, a side of queso, and an order of chips. And then if I'm feeling really crazy and wild, I get a Blackberry Izzy soda.
Mmm.
And if you really want to get about it, in the store, they have green Tabasco.
Mm-hmm.
Green Tabasco on the whole thing. I take the bottle with me if I'm eating in store, which isn't often enough. I travel with a green Tabasco because I eat Chipotle so much.
Really?
Yes. So that because that completes it. It
Mm-hmm.
pulls it all together.
Do you put salt and pepper on anything, or does it already have enough, you think?
I'm not a huge salt and pepper person.
Really? Too spicy, probably.
No,
You know what I mean?
I don't mind spice.
Oh, you like the spice.
Still too much spice.
Can I get some spicy veggies?
I'd like some spicy veggies.
When you're in Provincetown, is there a Chipotle?
No.
No. Then what's like it?
In a place like P-Town or even Fire Island, I'm at the mercy of what they've got because I don't eat meat and I avoid gluten. So it's like I eat gluten-free pizzas a lot.
Have you ever been stuck somewhere and you just had to have like something that had meat in it?
I don't crave it, but I did in Provincetown this year, like a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I tried lobster.
Oh, okay.
Scallops and oysters because I'd never eaten them my whole life.
And what'd you think?
It's okay.
You weren't missing anything.
The lobster was too much. They brought the whole ass beast to the table.
Okay.
Have you done this?
I've never been to Provincetown,
It's
but I've had.
Have you had a boiled lobster, like a full lobster?
In La Bufadora in Ensenada.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So you do the dissection and the
Oh no. They also
dissemination
brought rice and beans, and so I just ate that. I don't like.
well, that's nice.
I don't like taking things apart like that. I really have a hard time with it.
It was very visceral, and I felt like sad for the animal, and so I was like, I felt like it would be disrespectful to rip its head off and rip its chest open and eat it.
Yeah.
I wanted to try it because it's a human experience, as bizarre as it is. And I tried it. I don't think I'm going to do it ever again. But I tried it.
You did it. Cares.
Yeah.
You have no responsibility to anyone but yourself and the world and the planet
Yeah.
and the kitties.
Yeah.
Veggies. Let's take a break. We are back with Alaska talking about murdering live things and eating them with a side of veggies, which can be, well, what if you just had a song called Yes, and like that's all you did with guest like people?
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
I love it.
With guest people.
I love yes.
You know what? I always wanted to do a Halloween song, and no one ever wants to do a Halloween song with me. I want to do a Halloween song so bad.
I'm your diva.
And I say it to people, and they're like, oh, it's stupid. And I'm like, I'm almost 50 years old, and people are still like, you're stupid. Nobody wants to do a song with me. That's okay.
Yes, they do.
Vicky Vox told me that everyone is a singer. They just have to find their song.
I agree with that.
I think that's fair, right?
I would love to do a song with you.
Do you have a Halloween song? People always think people from outer space are Halloween. That's different. It can be at Halloween, but outer space isn't scary. It's exciting.
Sure, it's different genres.
It's exciting.
I don't think of that as Halloween-ish.
Look at this Halloween over here.
The decor is
That's
unreal.
from outer space. This is from outer space.
There's this ride at Waldameer, which is the amusement park in Erie, Pennsylvania, where I'm from.
Okay.
And it's called the Wacky Shack. And it's been there forever. It's been the same. They take really good care of it to not change anything. And as you're waiting in line, there's a voiceover recording that loops telling you the rules.
Okay.
And it goes, "Hello, Earthlings. There are a few rules you must obey when going into my house." So it's like that sort of thing.
It really does.
But they
I
say
love it.
Earthlings, and I'm like, so are you an alien? Because this is a house about like ghosts and like monsters. So like, why are you saying hello, Earthlings as the intro? It's always been confusing to me. But please don't change it, Waldameer, because it's perfect.
What if they changed it and it was like, tipping is compulsory?
Yes. You could do that. You could play that at your Halloween show.
fierce.
And then he's like, please never throw things at me or you may lose your wristband. Maybe with your arms still attached.
Whoa!
And then, yes. And then it ends with a
love
maniacal laugh. And then it starts over. Hello, Earthlings. And it plays over and over. If you worked at that ride,
I like
you'd have
that.
nightmares of that.
Wait, if you were to go trick-or-treating right now, what kind of candy would you want?
Full-size Snickers.
Yeah.
Rich houses.
Yes, full-size Snickers.
You know the rich houses that do that?
Totally.
Full-size Snickers, that was like hitting the lottery.
Do you like Twix? Do you like Baby Ruth?
It's okay.
Baby Ruth
It's
is
fine.
trying to be a Snickers. Don't you think?
It's like so close. It basically is, but just in a different shape.
Baby Ruth is kind of like the Dr. Thunder to a Dr. Pepper.
Sure.
What's it like going back and watching All Stars on Race Chaser? Like seeing yourself, talking about it. What's that feeling?
Watching All Stars 2 was very like a therapy session.
Mhm.
It was like when you're on Maury Povich and you're like, I'm afraid of bumblebees. And then they bring out a case of bumblebees and you run off screaming. It was like that with Drag Race All Stars 2. Because like I won, but it was the most psychologically toxic, weird time of my whole life. I thought it was something, and then it wasn't that. And so it was an awakening in a lot of ways, but I didn't fully have that awakening till years later, and distance and time passed.
I feel like when I don't know. I think I take everything with a grain of salt because when I watched, I didn't, maybe because I knew the people there on some level.
Yeah.
I've talked to Bob, I've talked to other people about this idea of understanding in Drag Race or reality in general, that as much as you are a contestant in something, you're also a cast member in something. So there's so many factors at play. And so when you watch someone, you're like, well, take it for a grain of salt, especially if you're somebody who's even just had one episode on the show. You walk away going, you got to realize that these people are under. So then when you've never been on All Stars and you know, okay, the stakes are even greater, as somebody who's watching, you're like, you don't even know what these people are going through at all. So I have a hard time being critical of any of it.
Well, thank you. I wish that more people felt that way.
I think a lot of people do, but you know what it is? It's kind of like a Yelp review. A lot of people have a wonderful experience at a restaurant. The only people who are going to write a review are the ones that go, I'm never coming back. This is the absolute worst experience I've ever had in my life.
So true.
They're only going to write those paragraphs because they want to feel seen, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to go, oh, if I was there, I would have worn this. I would have done that. I would have never have done that.
Yeah.
But you were never there.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you would have done.
Yeah.
Right?
At that moment when that episode aired of All Stars 2, the most horrible moment of my experience there, that aired, and then it was like this entire because I felt so much love from Drag Race online fan world. Right. It was ubiquitous, unending affection, nonstop, and I was like, this is fierce, and this is how it's always going to be. And then in one day, it completely turned, and all of that turned to we hate you. I used to like you, and now I do not. Your mom sucks. You suck. And it was just
brutal.
Yeah, it was really brutal. But all of that gives me so much compassion for everybody else who's been through this show or anything where people online are rude to you, because my experience of feeling that is not new or uncommon. Pretty much everyone who is on Drag Race has a taste of that at some time. So it gave me a lot more compassion for that. And going back and watching All Stars 2, exposing myself to it again, because I hadn't watched it since it happened, and it was this big scary thing in my mind. Watching it, I was like, no, this is just really entertaining, good television. And I think that the fan base gets that too. So once time passes, they're like, we don't give a about what happened. We're not that upset about it. It was just the thing that happened on the TV, and that's part of playing the game, is getting mad and upset about it.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, this time of year, voting is right around the corner. You are part of an important movement with regards to voting and making our voices heard.
We're doing Drag Pack, which is a thing where we try to get rich people to give us money so that we can get young people to vote using our power of drag. Because young people, there's a lot of them. And a lot of them, there's people who are eligible to vote who aren't registered to. So if they did register to vote, they could swing it any way they wanted to.
Right.
It's very powerful. So, that's what got me excited about it and got me involved.
Do you like voting?
I do. It's kind of camp.
Will you go to a location and vote, or will you send in an absentee?
I like to go to a location.
Yeah, I do too.
You stand in the line. The volunteers are really nice.
They are so nice.
They love being there. You look at for your name on a list. No one checks anything. No one checks your ID. You could literally be like, I'm Frances McDormand. And they just go, okay, here you are. And then you go, and there's a little curtain and a little stamper. It's so camp. And then you get a sticker. It's the campest activity.
It is. And every year that every few years when we vote, I try to challenge myself to really understand the local candidates, because that makes a difference. It really does. It's not just the couple of things. And so I try to say, okay, let me read about this. Let me Google this person that everyone says,
That's responsible of you.
It's hard,
it's
though.
Hard work.
Have you ever held a political office?
I've held a political orifice.
Have you?
Yeah. I know I've not held political office.
Not even in school?
I ran for student president and I did not win.
How come you didn't win?
It just wasn't my year.
Like in a pageant?
Yeah,
You know, they always say that in
her
a pageant.
year. It wasn't your year. We'd love to have you come back next year, though.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't your year, but you did great. We'd love to have you come back.
Yeah. Do you say that to girls in your pageant?
No, I don't.
You don't?
Because, I mean, I feel like each year with Drag Queen of the Year, I mean, the scores are, it's all mathematical. So there's really there's no debating it.
My friend, who's a show host in Palm Springs, her name's Vanity Halston, she created an app for judging contests. So you like sign in, the judges sign in, and they have everything there. And then you just, so it goes to a database and it reads out so the contestants can look at the app and go, I see. They don't see what each judge said. They see what their collective.
The
so
total.
They can't come back to the judge and be like, how come you said, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
I
it's really,
love that.
It's sickening.
I want to use that technology.
It's really sickening. You have your own login.
I gag
Yeah.
for that.
I forget what this is called. Vanity Halston. She has, it's really sickening. Yeah. What was it? I had a question for you about, so you gave me as a gift, a fragrance a long time ago.
Yes.
Called Red for Filth.
Uh-huh.
And it was so important to me that I could not open it because I didn't ever want to use it.
Well, I'll have to give you another one so that you can have one you use.
I just want you to talk about it because I don't know. I haven't even opened it to tell anyone what it smells like.
It has notes of lilac because that's my favorite flower.
Okay.
It has like a sort of leather kind of smokiness as well.
I like
and
that.
They isolated the smell of cocaine.
What do you think that base of that is? What's the smell?
I don't know how they did it. I made it with IFF, who's one of the major fragrance manufacturers. Yeah. And they somehow isolated what like really good cocaine kind of smells like. And it's sort of like bleachy, kind of chemically.
Okay.
And I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And there's like notes of that. Because I was like, I want to smell like good cocaine.
Have you ever smelled cocaine?
You know, I don't like to do it. I just like the smell of it.
Right, right.
That old drag joke.
Is that you, Kylie Sonique Love?
A fish and a bird can fall in love, but where will they build a home?
On the river.
On a nest floating down the river.
So wait, I wonder what that smells like.
Well, I'm going to give you another bottle so that you can have like the display bottle and then you can have one that you can just spray because
I love that.
Yeah.
What fragrance are you wearing today?
I'm not wearing any today.
What?
I know.
You don't need it to like feel like she or anything?
At a show, I do it. Because when you're wafting past the audience, you want I spray like my boa with it so that it gives you that. Today, I'm wearing borrowed clothes, so I don't want to douse it in my fragrance.
Well, I always like have to put it on, but today, this is going to sound so up, but
what?
I was like, well, today I'm working with my friends and like, they already know that I talk about perfume all the time and I smell like an old lady. So maybe I'll give them a little break and like, they probably won't care anyway. They're not going to be like, so glad to see you. You smell so great. Like they're not going to care. Yeah. But like sometimes if it's someone I don't particularly know that well, or I rarely see, I'm like, I need to like, you know what I mean? I need to like bring it a little bit more, but like, I'm not like, oh my God, I hope Alaska's like, wow, are you wearing old lady perfume again today? I'm so excited.
Well, I would be
excited.
But
let's take a break. We are back with Alaska, the kitty cat from planet Glamtron.
Planet Catron.
That actually, the cat meowing is very realistic.
Yeah, it's not like meow. That's
Right.
not what they sound like.
Round. Because you're doing that from the roof of your mouth, I think.
Yeah. I have a gift for you.
You do?
And I didn't know what to get you. And I was like, so everything has been done and given. But you did an episode a while back where you were talking about the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, my
and you
God.
were talking about ideal new ideas for Cheesecake Factory flavors. And so I wanted to make you one of those flavors. So
is this real?
What this is a gluten-free crust. It's not exactly like your recipe, but it's a peanut butter cheesecake. And then we made a strawberry like sauce that will go over it, and then on top, crushed peanuts.
Are you serious?
I brought plates that are from Gelson's, and these are paper plates, but I thought they were very
They're
Delta.
beautiful.
I thought they were very Delta. And the napkins, too.
This is so thoughtful. Oh, my God.
Not a lot. All of the credit goes to my boyfriend, Matt, who made the cheesecake.
Sweet.
I helped, which means I like watched and sort of opened packaging of stuff, but he's the wizard behind it.
Wow.
And I can't wait for you to try it. I want to try some too.
Oh, these plates are beautiful.
Aren't they nice? They're from Gelson's. I was like, that's
really
the most
nice.
Delta plate I've ever seen.
I love it. I have thank you notes that look like that.
Oh, yes.
Right.
So then, final step, as dictated from your recipe, crumbled peanuts.
Oh, my goodness. Now, have you put some on yours?
Not yet.
You're so generous.
And the plan is that it will taste something like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh, my goodness. You tell me when you're ready to taste, and I will do the same.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm
Let's
taking
try
a bite of it right now. Here we go.
It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It's so good.
Isn't it?
It's like very, very Cheesecake Factory good.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Gorgeous Matt for making that. Wow, it's really, really good. Oh, my God.
Cheesecake Factory, listen up.
They don't listen.
They don't.
They don't care.
I don't know what's going on.
You know what? I don't think they have any more paper to print more recipes and more options on their menu. They can't.
You know what? Watch. Now, after this comes out, then they'll do it, and they will give you no credit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're gonna do.
Or Matt, who actually created it.
Well, it was your idea.
Well, this is the part of the show that obviously we call Read Me Delta. And, you know, people will send in letters with questions, queries, sometimes seeking advice. And if you are one of those people, you can send your letter to readmedelta@gmail.com.
Read me, Spooky Delta.
Read me. Dearest Delta and modest guest, are you a hoarder?
Oh.
I'm often stuck in this strange tug of war between wanting to purge everything I own and clinging to the most insignificant items with sentimental value. Some days I'm ready to toss everything out the window and start fresh with just the clothes on my back, but then other days I can't bring myself to part with the oddest things, like an old concert ticket from a show, simply because it reminds me of the thrill of being in a different city with friends I haven't seen in years. Or just an old shirt that'll never be worn, but still smells faintly of an exotic street food and bad decisions people make. It's such a bizarre mix of impulses, and I wonder if you've ever felt the same way. Tell me, can you easily let go of things, or do you find yourself holding on just for the memories? Yours forever, Very Ayrton.
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
Because I think that as Americans, there is an innate hoarder, like, it's sort of like the herpes virus. And it's like everyone has it, but it lies dormant in some people, or it's lesser in some people and less extreme. I think we all have it because consumption is so important in our society. Shopping is such a like religious experience in our society. We're brought up with it. We're brought up to equate consuming stuff and having stuff with joy and happiness. So it can get out of control. It can go the other way and be too much. For a lot of my life, it was really hard for me to get rid of stuff. And it was like, and drag has a lot of tie in with hoarding as well, because you're like, well, I might need that, or you never know if I'm going to need that. In recent years, though, I'm very good at get the rid of it. If I haven't worn it in a year, I'm not going to wear it. Let's give it to somebody who will. Let's do a drag sale. Let's do out of the closet. Let's do Goodwill. Now I'm like really good at getting rid of stuff, but it hasn't always been that way, and it is a practice that you have to practice.
Yeah, no, you're right. You do have to practice it, because I've been definitely that way. And I think for me, I like to say that I collect, but that it's not collecting. I'm not collecting anything, because it ends up in a bag, pushed in the back somewhere.
Sure.
And what happens is I will find something and I'll buy 2 of it. Because I'll go, oh, like, for instance, I love motorcycle jackets. I'll find one in a bright color and I'm like, I might as well buy 2, because when this one blows out, they won't have it anymore. So if this one gets ripped apart or whatever, but
that's the drag.
I'll be kicking it around and I'm like, I've worn that twice. When am I ever going to get to the other one? Exactly. So it is a hoardy thing, I think, for sure. It hasn't taken over my life in the sense that, like, you wouldn't walk into my home and see it sitting there. Yeah. Like, it's put away. But there is a storage unit that I probably don't need.
Sure.
That's full of clothing. I always want to take a note from Meatball, which is super smart. Yeah. Meatball will make outfits and then we'll put them into rotation and she'll wear them. And then she'll go, someone will say, oh my gosh, I love that outfit. Would you ever sell that? And she'll sell it right off her back. And then she'll make a new thing. Time
for a new one.
She will. And it's really smart, right? Yeah. That way she has a certain amount of stuff on rotation. Yeah. She has her go-to, like I'm sure a few things that are special to her that she wears, a Western outfit or a something that is going to be, but I have a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, it's a bad habit and it is hard to break. Yeah. Not usually like cards or things like that. Usually it's clothes. For me, it's clothes. It's handbags. Sure. But like out of drag clothing, I'll pitch that. Oh no, the one thing I won't pitch is like screen t-shirts. I have way too many. Oh, work. I've got to have 50 in the closet folded and put there that I don't even wear some of them.
Oh, yes.
That's a lot.
I have so many of them because that to me is like the concert ticket they were talking about. It's like that shirt reminds me of the place and the time when I got it, even though I don't wear that shirt hardly ever.
And I have things from like friends that also do drag. So if they give me something, I'm like, I don't want it to ever. I'm still surprised to this day that all of my friends that do drag, whether they've been on Drag Race or Dragula or never had those platforms, that they've all been able to sort of achieve a dream and have stickers or people wearing their shirts. And I look at it and I think to myself, like, once it's given to me, I want to be able to say in 50 years from now, this was my friend Alaska's perfume. Like this really happened. Like, I know we dream of it, but this person did this. This is Willem's perfume. This is so-and-so's t-shirt, whatever it is. I think in my mind, I want to be able to prove to people, if something ever happens and all of this goes away, that we were here. Yeah. We did this. You know what I mean? Individually or together or what. I know that sounds preachy, but I really do in my mind. It is that sentimental space. Yeah. I need to throw it all away. I should sell it. Well, I should sell my Manila doll.
What?
Somebody wants it. Allie, I'm selling a Manila doll.
But that's the thing. Now we live in era of the smartphone
Right.
and the cloud.
Take a
And
picture
so
of it.
we're
Take a
able to
picture.
we're able to hoard and save memories and moments.
Right. You're right.
Using that technology that you don't have to keep the physical ticket stub.
You know, but you don't have to be right. You don't have to shame me
I'm not ashamed.
for having my scrapbooks. Sorry, I'm proud of my friends. All right. Peanut allergy. Dearest Delta in Alaska.
They knew.
Britney, witch.
They knew I was here.
I'm a Britney Spears stan, and with Halloween just around the corner, I'm thinking of dressing up as her. This would be my first time in drag. Quite iconic, no? I'm considering either doing the schoolgirl baby one more time look, the slave for you with the snake, or Britney in her current state, you know, dancing around the house with knives. Thoughts? Also, what's your favorite Britney song and lyric? Happy Halloween, witches. Love, J Princess from the Great North.
Oh,
Favorite Britney
there's a new
songs.
queen of the North in town.
Yeah.
Watch out, Brooke.
Yeah.
Britney is a gateway drug to drag.
I agree.
She was for me. She was, in my mind, I was Britney Spears when I first started drag. Even though, you know, I'm 8 feet tall and I look nothing like her. But in my mind, that was the pinnacle of beauty and femininity, and I wanted to be her. So I get it. Do it. Do Britney
1000%.
drag.
1000%.
Don't do the modern day with the knives. It's like such a cheap, like, that's like when people do Whitney with the bag of flour.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that. You do illusion, celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Britney was at her best.
Sure.
Exciting, fun,
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Britney song?
I love Oops, I Did It Again.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first heard it and I was on the school bus and it gave me full body chills, the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget that. So yeah, I love that one.
I love that one too. I love Sometimes I Run.
Good one.
Cause I'm a man highway now. When moon high. I like that one a lot.
That one's really good.
Yeah, and I think universally, I don't care what genre of music you listen to or create or love, toxic brings people together.
You hear that.
Everybody goes running.
You can hear it anywhere. It's like a siren call of that moment. Yes.
You have to report for duty when you hear
You
that.
do.
You have a responsibility.
You do.
And you want to serve the community. You want to serve the world. You want to serve our army.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. But I say for sure, dress up as Britney. Have a good time. If it's your first time out in drag, maybe pick a Britney look that involves like a shoe that's sort of going to take you through the whole night.
Flats. Britney wore a lot of flats early on.
Like a cute boot or something.
Yeah.
So that way, because, you know, if you're wearing something, you don't want to do like a Britney on the red carpet. She's wearing a shoe that
the strappy sandal and that you're going to be in hell in a half an hour.
Maybe you do the Britney denim look.
Sure.
I love that.
Love that one.
That one's good.
Then you get your friend to be Justin Timberlake.
Have you worn that dress before?
No, but I like it.
I see you in that dress for sure.
I would totally wear that.
You do really well in strapless looks. You're
Love
beautiful.
a strapless.
I just talked about you. Who was I talking? I was talking to John Hill on his show, and we were talking about people using glitter and shimmer. And I think he asked me, like, do you use that? And I said, I took a tip from Alaska a long time ago. Alaska has a beautiful collarbone, and we'll do just a little bit of shimmer on her collarbone. And I remember I was like, oh, I should do that. And you had suggested, do it on like the swell of your breast. And so if I have something low cut, I'll just a little bit there, and it really catches the light.
Yeah.
I am always open to listening to what other people do and incorporating it in a way that works for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I could put it on my collarbone, but I like it there.
Yeah.
It's a better recommendation. It just showcases something different for each person.
Yeah.
It's totally true.
The martini glass, the RuPaul martini glass.
Yes.
It's a martini glass shape of shimmer. And it creates, because a lot of people think you have to do the like, I have to take the brown and then contour that out. If you just do the shimmer, it creates the sort of illusion of that without you don't have to do any
It doesn't work for you.
contouring. Yeah.
Have you ever used Carrera Glow?
Oh, girl. No, but I
Honey.
love it.
Carmen Carrera, she mixes up her own thing in a bottle with glitter.
It's like
and
3
lotions
different
and
products.
serums, and then she
Yeah.
just rubs it all over herself. She does like to glow. She sparkles.
So gorgeous.
You sparkle too.
Veggies.
Veggies. Veggies.
Veggies.
Will you come back
Yes.
when it's not Halloween so you could be on the regular set?
I would love that, but I was thrilled to get to be a cat here today with
I was
you.
excited too. I'm glad you came. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It was so fun. Thank you for my treat. Thank you, Matt, for the beautiful, delicious, delicious treat. It was really good.
It was really good.
I mean, I was kind of talking out of my butt when I was saying like, oh, this will be like a flavor, but it like came to fruition.
And it gives peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
It
but
really
it's
did.
cheesecake.
And that crust is good. Gluten-free crust is good.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a purchased crust or was that made?
We bought it.
You can buy it already done like that.
We bought it at Sprouts, and they're in the freezer section,
Okay.
which I didn't know. I was looking around for them and I couldn't find them, but apparently they're in the freezer section.
If you were to ask, would you go, I'm vegetarian. I'm looking for gluten-free. My stomach
No, I
hurts if I eat
wouldn't.
gluten. Did you say gluten or gluten?
I don't say gluten.
Some people say gluten. They like drop their T's for a D.
I would say gluten before I would say
gluten.
gluten.
Do you think if somebody had no ass, they would be like gluteus maximus free?
Yeah.
Gluteus. You have no ass. You're gluteus maximus free.
For real.
Thank you all so much for listening to and watching Very Delta. Our show comes out every Monday. Subscribe to Mom Podcast YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. Search for Very Delta on your favorite podcast apps to listen to the audio-only version if you can't handle all the beauty that's on the couch. You can also sign up for the premium offerings on Mom Plus Gold by visiting mompodcast.plus, where you get weekly episodes of more Very Delta. Don't forget to send all of your questions to readmedelta@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram at DeltaWork. Where can everyone follow you?
Oh, I'm on the internet.
You can Google me at veggies.com.
Click them keys and Google me. That's a Kim Zolciak song.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, go to dragthemusical.com
Yeah.
and you can come see the musical in New York. We're running 8 shows a week all year through next year.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shows a week
Mm-hmm.
until next year.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it. We'll see you next week.
Thank
and
you.
until then, keep things very Delta. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Margot Padilla. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions.
Mom!
To listen to Very Delta ad-free, 1 day early, and to get access to more Very Delta and all of Mom Podcast's premium content, check out Mom Plus Gold at mompodcast.plus.